Authorities announced more arrests in connection with the overdose deaths of three 19-year-olds, including Robert De Niro's grandson, Leandro. Speaking at a news conference moments ago, New York authorities detailed the defendants are allegedly part of a drug ring that uses social media to sell drugs.
One particularly dangerous feature of the drug network that killed the 19-year-olds is that it used an online distribution network. The network leveraged the power of social media and encrypted messaging platforms to advertise and distribute drugs to customers living in this city. The platforms used by the defendants included, among others, Snapchat, Instagram, TikTok, and Telegram. By using social media and encrypted messaging platforms, the defendants were able to specifically target and influence teenagers and young adults.
Joining us live is Anna Schecter, senior coordinating producer with CBS News Crime and Public Safety Unit. So, Anna, how is law enforcement tying these suspects to Leandro's death?
Well, these 5 suspects charged in this indictment are charged with distributing fentanyl. Now, they sold it to somebody else that then turned around and gave it or sold it to Leandro. So that's how this worked. So this is the result of many months of investigation. Right after he was found dead in his friend's apartment, he was just 19 years old. This was back in 2023. Investigators jumped on this case. They found the so-called Percocet queen that sold him some of these pills. The medical examiner said he had a cocktail of drugs in his system, including fentanyl, ketamine, and cocaine. And the investigation widened, and they actually have located these people who were doing the dealing around, all around New York. The indictment lays out hotel rooms, other locations where they were doing deals, and they link these individuals to other deaths as well, other teenagers who died. Now, this indictment came down at the same time that another indictment. You're looking there at Washington Square Park. There were 19 people charged in connection to a fentanyl ring operating out of Washington Square Park. And the feds today, the prosecutors and the DEA, talked about just the ravage that fentanyl has done, that these illicit drugs, the deadly drugs, that they've really wreaked havoc, not just New York City, but around the country. And so they laid out their case, and this is the result of, as I said, many months of investigation.
Yeah, I mean, this is a web of drug sellers. Can you break it down and talk to us about what the DEA is looking into and what they're investigating?
Sure. Well, they wanted to find out and pinpoint the supplier. It wasn't enough just to arrest the individual who was in direct contact with Robert De Niro's grandson and the other teenagers. And what they did is, once they found that individual, they cracked open this massive web, an operation that was sophisticated. As we just heard authorities say there in that clip, they used social media, they used Telegram, TikTok, Instagram, essentially the platforms that a lot of young people are on, in order to connect with potential buyers, do deals between themselves, and sell these drugs. And of course, they don't tell the victims that there's fentanyl in these drugs, and so an unwitting person thinks they might be taking something else, and just a speck of fentanyl can be deadly. And unfortunately, we learned 2 years ago in July that Robert De Niro's grandson was found sitting up in a chair, unresponsive. There was white powder near him, and certainly he did not expect to be taking fentanyl. It was deemed an accidental overdose, and we can point to fentanyl. The medical examiner pointed to a cocktail of drugs, but fentanyl is really that one that is so deadly with so little, and has really plagued the country and has been a focus of the DEA for years now. They have been trying to tackle this and get a handle on it, and so these arrests of these individuals who have actually been arrested previously. They made note of that. That's a whole other issue that sometimes these drug dealers, they get arrested, get out, and then re-offend, as we saw in this case.
Yeah, repeat offenders. It is so scary. Anna Schecter, thank you so much.